Welcome back to the Personal Evangelism Challenge, recapping days 9, 10, and 11. Well, like I told you guys on day 8, it was very exciting. I got to do some follow-up. We took somebody who recently got born again out to breakfast. We did a little bit of a Bible study and an encouragement with her. Spent about an hour and a half, 2 hours, picked her up from her house. Shared some practical tips and started building that relationship there. It was such a blessing. And I feel like I had just started getting better from the virus and everything. I'd been fever-free for a few days and tested negative, for a virus, an unnamed virus. And anyways, even though I had that acid reflux attack on Sunday, I was still, glad to be able to go out on Monday. Well, as soon as we went out and did that, that evening, Monday evening, we got sick with something else. I can't make this up. It's not COVID. It's or a virus. It's something else, some other type of virus that our family has gotten sick with. And I was throwing up on Monday night. And so Tuesday I didn't do much of anything, trying to leave that 24 hours to not be contagious to anybody. So Tuesday, which is day 9, I didn't pray for anybody. I did not pray for anybody. Also didn't get anybody sick. That's a win. But the kids have been home. My wife has been home. Everybody's been home. We've been caring for one another. The kids have been sick. I've been sick. And we agree this is probably a spiritual attack because of the good things that God is doing. So what do we do with that? Take it as encouragement. We're doing something beautiful here. We're doing something great here. Have I been this sick for this long in recent memory? No. This is a lot. There's a lot happening right now. But that's okay. That's all right. Yesterday I had a sales appointment, even though I felt terrible. I didn't have a fever, hadn't vomited in 24 hours. I'm like, oh, I gotta work. If you don't work, you don't eat. Had to. Went out and did a sales appointment and with a man named Henry. Did it all outside, didn't go in his house, did it all outside. And then as I was leaving, stirred up some organic conversation. And I think the tip that I got to leave with everybody today is we have to get out of the autopilot transactional interactions. Because really, on your day-to-day, just out and about, you don't have to be in sales to have these types of interactions with your coworkers, with people at the gas station, with somebody at the restaurant, or you go through the drive-thru, or 7-Eleven, or whatever it is. We have to break away from the transactional mode where it's, I'm doing business, here's money, give me what I'm getting, or this is what you're supposed to do, give it back. How you doing? Good to see you. Have a good day. We have to slow down and get outside of that transactional mindset and get to the heartbeat of Christ, which is a relational mindset. Everybody that you interact with has value. Outside of any transaction that you can have with them, they are a person who you should show interest in and have a conversation with. There's a way to get out, and even some people get trapped in the transactional ministry mindset. You need to be saved. Hey, I'm here to spread the gospel to you. Maybe there's times for that. However, you'll find that you get a lot more openness of heart and open doors if you just let people talk. If you start talking to people and ask open questions, don't ask yes/no questions, but like, oh, what do you do with your free time? They can't say yes and they can't say no to that. Or it's like, oh, where do you worship? Where do I worship? Oh, well, I used to go to blah, 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 blah. Oh, where's that at? What was that church like? Oh, really? If God was to do a miracle in your life today, what would it look like? Don't give people yes or no questions. Give them open questions. And it doesn't always have to be super, super spiritual. But if you just start asking questions about people's lives and let them open up, it will make them more open for whatever business you're conducting, but also will make them open for you to say, hey, what can I pray for you about? You don't ask, can I pray for you? I mean, you can if you want to, but somebody can tell you no. But if you say, what can I pray for you about? They can't say no. That no is not an adequate answer to the question, what can I pray for you about? Or if God did a miracle for you today, what would that look like? No isn't an adequate answer to that question. Asking open questions after you've built a little bit of relationship, which relationship can take 5 seconds, 5 minutes, 15 minutes. You can build relationship really quick with a smile, with kindness. But you ask those open questions and people begin to share. So as I was leaving my appointment yesterday, I was like, hey, after we'd had some of that relational chit chat and conversation, he had opened up and said, oh yeah, man, I'm just getting back into town. I was out of town. I was like, oh, what were you out of town for? Conversate, relational. Went out of town for my grandmother's funeral, and then I had to stay a couple days behind because my mom was in the hospital, blah, blah, blah. You know what that sounded like to me? An opportunity to pray for somebody. An opportunity to pray for somebody. Because I engaged in that relational conversation, even though it was a transactional interaction, it was a business interaction, it was a sales appointment, but I had to shift out of that transactional mindset and get into a relational mindset. And I said, you know what? I'm going to pray for you. I didn't even give him an option. I said, is it okay if I pray for you? I did say, is it okay? Because I had already built that relationship. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to pray for you. Pray. Is there anything else I can pray for? I know we're going to pray for family and peace and everything like that. He's like, just my family. I prayed for this gentleman. I think I gave him an invitation to church, little invitation cards. And at the end of this prayer, he was crying. He was so receptive to this prayer, and it really moved him. Being able to connect with that individual, with that person, with that relationship. It wasn't just a transaction, it was a relationship. And then I went home and got in bed because I felt terrible. Well, again, today I have to go back out, day 11. So 9, I didn't get to pray for anybody. I was sick. 10, sick but recovering, prayed for Henry. Day 11 is today. I went out with Connor and we went on a sales appointment, which we sold, by the way. We prayed before we got there. We sold it. But we spent 2 hours with this. We spent 2 hours with this customer. Most of that was just relational, just conversating, letting them talk, connecting with them. And we prayed with this individual, but we asked, what would a miracle look like in your life? No, but what would a miracle look like? So it causes them to open up. Well, I really want a wife. Okay. He talked about how he needed a wife, how he wanted somebody to spend his life with and to connect with and to minister with, blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what? We were able to have a powerful prayer meeting there with Mr. Drew, and he was very moved. We were able to give him an invitation to our church and to the church up there in Hampton. We were able to connect, and we made a great sale, and we made a great friend because we transitioned away from transactional, strictly business, to relational, showing that you care. And I think what a lot of people are afraid to do is be real. I just want to encourage you. The Lord made you a minister, and he is transforming you into his image. And there might be a part of you and a part of your personality you haven't even tapped into yet, because you've closed yourself off to that because you feel like you have to be in business mode when you're ministering. No, you can be yourself. You can smile and minister. You can joke and laugh and minister. You can, tell stories about yourself and about what God's done in you and through you while you minister. You can show, and you should, show genuine interest in people while you minister. The Lord was not just transactional. He cared how people felt, and he met them where they were at. So I want to encourage you, if you feel like you got to be somebody else when you're ministering, I'm getting into ministry mode. I can see how sometimes there's a mindset that needs to shift, but this needs to become normal to us. This needs to become a part of who we are. It was so easy segueing, as we're doing this more, it's so easy to segue from a relational interaction with somebody to ministry because we're already connected. A big part of me, which I've already shared, is my love for the Lord. And then we're just going to, hey, I'm going to pray for you. What would it look like if God did a miracle? It's a smooth transition because you've already revealed who you are to this person. And it feels natural that you're going in that direction because you've had a relationship that you've built over minutes or hours or days, however that interaction, whether it's a coworker or a stranger, it develops into something beautiful. So I want to encourage you, be yourself with Jesus. Be yourself with Jesus. Transition from transactional interactions to relational interactions. And even if the majority of your 100-day challenge so far has been sickness, I'm literally in pain right now. Literally in pain. But even if it's been sickness and pain, it's worth it for the people that I've been able to connect with and minister to, and people that have gotten healing and brought tears to their face and a restoration to their walk with God, inviting people to church. It's been worth it so far. And we haven't even seen the miraculous that I know is going to happen. So I want to encourage you, stick with it. Stick with it. And let's serve the Lord with gladness and excellence. God bless you.